Here's your Forbes Daily Briefing for Sunday, March 10th. Today on Forbes, here's the Forbes reporting that sparked criminal charges for Trump CFO, Weisselberg. Alan Weisselberg, the Trump Organization's longtime CFO, pleaded guilty last week to 2 counts of perjury, down from 5 counts he was initially charged with. He faces up to 5 months in prison, less than a year after he was sent to Rikers Island on separate criminal tax fraud charges. Court filings show that 4 of the 5 charges against him stem from falsehoods the ex-CFO told about Trump's Manhattan penthouse, one of the assets at issue in the New York Attorney General's recent fraud trial against the former president and his company. Longtime readers of Forbes have long known about the lies surrounding his Trump Tower apartment. For more than a decade, the Trump Organization has been fibbing about the apartment's size. Trump associates claimed on financial documents and boasted to Forbes on the phone, in person, and via email that Trump's opulent triplex apartment was more than 30,000 square feet, occupying the entire top 3 floors of Trump Tower. In 2016, Forbes dug into New York City records, which showed Trump's apartment actually only occupies parts of those floors. The rest of the space belongs to a neighbor, who owns his own 3,368 square foot property on 2 of the floors. Also in Trump's inflated math are common elements on the floors, such as elevators and hallways that would be owned by Trump Tower's residents through the building's condo association rather than Trump himself. Forbes sent the Trump Organization questions about the square footage discrepancy starting in 2016, emailing about the penthouse in August 2016, February 2017, and March 2017. Forbes published a story in May 2017 exposing the then president's lies, showing that Trump's penthouse is only 10,996 square feet, far smaller than Trump boasted. The Trump Organization began using the correct square footage on its internal documents soon after. The penthouse's square footage became a central issue in the civil fraud case against the ex-president, as the state alleged it was among the assets Trump and his associates fraudulently inflated on financial statements in order to obtain more favorable business deals. In a ruling finding the defendants liable for fraud even before the trial began, Judge Arthur Engoron called the discrepancy over the apartment's size, quote, absurd. Engoron wrote, quote, a discrepancy of this order of magnitude by a real estate developer sizing up his own living space for decades can only be considered fraud. Weisselberg tried to distance himself from the penthouse controversy in both a July 2020 deposition taken during the Attorney General's investigation and at the trial in the fraud case in October 2023. The 2 charges that Weisselberg pleaded guilty to last Monday both stem from the 2020 deposition. In the first count, Weisselberg testified he, quote, didn't find out about the error in the penthouse's size until the Forbes article came out, despite Forbes asking about the discrepancy long before the article came out, and despite internal emails showing Weisselberg being sent documents with the correct square footage. The second count charges Weisselberg with falsely testifying that he had never been present when Trump described the size of his penthouse, despite him joining a meeting between Forbes and Trump in 2015, during which Trump repeatedly lied about the size of his apartment. For full coverage, check out Allison Durkee's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.